Three, two, one, and action. Hello, how are you? This is the Larger Than Life podcast where you can become larger than life just by listening. I'm your host, Nick, and this is episode 1 of the podcast. Today, we'll be introducing you to how things will be going around here because this is the first episode. We will also be delving into trying new things and how to open up yourself to new experiences. And finally, learning to love yourself. I think these are all very important topics that I feel like are a bit under discussed in today's society. A lot of people talk about other things like, learning about accepting societal norms, gender norms, and all these other things, but I'm going to talk about something that goes a little under the radar. But first, I would like to welcome everyone. This is a new podcast, first episode. It really does fall under the whole trying new things thing because I am trying a new thing. I've never done a podcast before. I hope people enjoy this kind of content. I'm still going to be making memes on my channel, but I figure every now and then I could mix it up a little, add some sort of a different element of content, do something a bit more out of the box, if you will, something cool like that. It's a different style, but it's all about experimenting. Trying new things is very important, but we'll get into that a little bit more later. So this podcast is essentially just going to be me talking about how it's going to work, or for this part of it. Basically, what I'm going to do every episode, I'm going to talk about a few different segments, however many I want. It's mostly going to be about things that relate to life. It could be life stories, it could be life lessons, it could be life lessons and stories. Basically, whatever I want that falls under the category life, and it's always going to be something you could either find funny or you could learn from, or both, whatever suits you. So that's kind of how things are going to be done around here. A very short introduction, but let's get into our first topic today. Um, that is trying new things. And trying new things is something I'm not very good at because for the longest time I've been stubborn about new experiences. I'm kind of the one on the camping trip that's like, oh, I need to sleep with like uh this and this, and other people are like, oh, that's not real camping. Or a better analogy would probably be if everyone else is gonna jump off the diving board into the pool, I'm gonna be like, nah, I don't want to. It's not my thing, which is not the right attitude to go about life. But it's kind of unfortunately how it's been for me. So I'm trying to change that. I recognize that trying new things really helps you out in life. It gets you further along. You meet new people, get new experiences, and you learn. And you can really discover who you are by trying new things. And it's something that not a whole lot of people ever talk about because, when you're trying new things, it's no one really pays much attention to it unless you're very vocal about your experiences. But you have to open up yourself to these new things. So like, for example, I absolutely hate playing soccer. It's just not my thing. I've tried it and I don't like it. So if I didn't try it though, I wouldn't know how I feel about it. I wouldn't be able to play soccer and say, "Hey, I hate this," if like without me knowing about my past experiences. But that doesn't mean you should close yourself off. Playing playing soccer, just using it as an example, it's just one of those things where when you're when you're trying new things, you can't look at your past experiences and say, "Oh, I hate this. I'm not ever going to do it again." You can give things a second shot. But if on that like second or third try or whatever, you're just not feeling it, then move on. Pivot to something else. Um just try a different sport, maybe basketball, maybe hockey, whatever it is. Um Obviously you got to try things within reason. You don't want to say, "Hey, look at all these people diving off a cliff. I've never tried that before. Let's go for it." Like, no, but you definitely want to try things that are out of your comfort zone, but also within the realms of sanity, if that makes any sense. So, having a podcast like this is kind of falls under that category because I never actually thought I would even want to do a podcast, but I kind of do. It's kind of crazy that I actually got to this point though, because like I take a lot of inspiration from Zach Schaumler. If you've ever heard of him, he's the guy who does Strong Opinion Sports. He also has a couple other podcasts, like Flawed Humans. He does that, and those are some of my favorite podcasts I've ever seen. They're the only ones that I consistently listen to these days on YouTube. Zach is just really good at what he does. He has a lot of good insight, so I take a lot of inspiration from him. So I'll link both the Flawed Humans channel and Strong Opinion Sports channel in the description below if you're interested. Please give him a sub. He's really good at what he's doing, and like it's a lot of relatable content. I'm not trying to emulate it per se, but I take a lot of inspiration from what he does, and you know, if it weren't for him, I wouldn't have even had the will to try doing a podcast. And that does fall under the category of trying new things because sometimes other people can push you a little bit. They can push you to try new things, something you didn't think you'd be able to do, but because of their encouragement and their support, you now have the mindset in order to do it. It doesn't always work like that. You have to have the right support group around you. But it's just a super good thing when you have encouragement if you're struggling and you have people to lean upon. Because if you try new things and you don't have other people to help you out, then it's either not going to go well or it's not going to be as fulfilling. Sharing that experience of trying new things with other people. So I just kind of I really like uh, just trying to get myself into the mindset of trying new things. I do a lot of experimenting with my YouTube channel, in case you haven't noticed. I mean, I went from making random videos of me just recording my TV to making Mario Kart Tour videos. When I quit that, I moved on to making memes a few months later, and after I took a long and hard break from YouTube. And I've been making memes and I'm still gonna make memes, but I also want to add another dimension to um my YouTube content, and that is the podcast. It's all about trying new things. YouTube is a lot of experimenting, a lot of uh putting out content you feel like suits the audience, but also benefits you. I know I'm not like a big YouTube channel, so a lot of people don't see my content, but it it's just a really valuable thing to be able to have these experiences and learn from them. And even if no one else gets to see it, at least you can say, "Hey, I'm proud of making this content, putting it out there." If nothing else. So, yeah, very important stuff. I also feel like, still on the topic of trying new things, I think it's super important to be able to like not just try one thing and say that was nice, I'm not going to try any new things again. Keep being open. You got to keep being open to new experiences. Find your passions. It really drives you in life, and that's something I know for a fact because my family's really good at trying new things, and I'm struggling a little, but I'm trying my best, right? I'm trying to follow their example. I am trying to do all that sort of thing. you know so having your family be good at trying new things is another great support system because no one knows you better than your family after yourself, obviously. So it's kind of crazy that it's taking me this long to really try and open up to new things, but I just want to share the fact that you got to be willing. You got to be willing. You got to do whatever it takes, take the necessary steps to find experiences fulfilling to you. Because finding your passions, finding your interests, having these life experiences go a long way with everything. It goes a long way for your career, for your personal life, for your dating life. It's a very, very important skill to be able to try new things. And I can't stress upon that more. So, Go out there, experiment, just have fun, you know? Don't worry about what other people think of you for trying something and you suck at it. If that's the case, then who cares? It's at least you learn something out of it. At least you, at least like you can say, "Hey, I've done this thing," and other people like they're not really involved in your experiences. So don't feel self-conscious about doing something out of your comfort zone because that's the worst feeling. Like when you're, for example, when you're about to play table tennis for the first time and there's a giant crowd of people around you. But then right before you serve your first ball, you're like, "Oh, I can't do it. There's so many people around me. Oh no, I'm caving under the pressure." You don't want that. You absolutely do not want that because it, it'll just discourage you from trying table tennis or whatever in the future. You know, it's really frustrating, but it's something you got to learn to ignore. The people around you, if you feel like they're pressuring you too hard, or if you feel like you're self-conscious of them for whatever reason, if you think you're gonna suck and they're gonna laugh at you, if they laugh at you, who cares? If they laugh at you, it's not a big deal because the only person who should be laughing at you is you. If other people do it, then that's on them. Whatever, move on. So, you know, if you have one of those experiences where you try it and it sucks and people do judge you for it, then that's their problem. All you need to do is be able to take the criticism well. So you shouldn't let small things like that discourage you from trying new things. It can really hold you back, and I think it's super valuable to be able to adapt and grow. And you know how that's done? Trying new things, like gaining new experiences, finding new hobbies helps you become a more adaptable person. You grow better because when you have a wider line of interests, you can like you can look at other people and you can say, "Hey, if you don't want to like play tennis with me, then we can maybe play basketball, or if you don't want to draw, we can probably play video games or something like that." It really helps in social situations. It also just helps you with your life, with your job, because when you have these different experiences, this diverse set of skills that you can gain from finding new passions and hobbies, that goes a long way with applying for a job. Because let's just say for whatever reason, I don't know why you'd ever be into this, but let's say you really like cleaning. Let's say it's like super like, oh, you love it. It's just so enjoyable. You see a messy floor and you don't frown upon it. You're just like, yes, I want to clean this floor. But then you're not really into anything else. So, like anything else of use for a job. So, when you clean the floor, it's nice, but there's not very many jobs that pay a lot for that. I mean, there's obviously maids that go to people's houses and clean, but that's different. Like, you don't really get paid that much for that. I know for a fact because we have a very nice lady who comes to clean our house every Tuesdays, and I always look at the money she gets. I'm like, kind of wish she gets more than that. Um, but this circles back to the whole cleaning thing. Um, if that's something you like, great, but it can't be the only thing you like because if you have a different set of passions, skill sets, interests, you can it's easier for you to not just get a job but keep a job because then you're good at it, you enjoy it. It's so valuable, and it's stuff I'm realizing as I'm growing up, as I'm growing older, you know. And it's just one of those things that you never know how important it is until you actually do it. So it's not even brave to do something, it's just very beneficial for you. You know, it's something I really think is underappreciated. People need to probably just uh, focus on it more in their day to day lives. I'm not saying every day you have to try something completely radical, but you know, opening up to new experiences, you got to have that goal to be able to do that. And it goes a long way for you, for your friends, because then get to know you on a better level. And that brings me to my next topic, which we will get into after this break. So I'm going to take a short break. I will be right back. When we return, we will be talking about learning to love yourself and maybe a little bonus topic about recognizing the good in every day. So I will be right back. And we are back. Welcome back to the Larger Than Life podcast. And I am coming off of a fresh break. Just got some water. Yeah, well, when you're talking for a long amount of time, or even just like 10-ish minutes without stopping, 15 minutes even, it hurts your throat, so I just needed to take a break. But we are back, and my next topic is going to be about learning to love yourself. Learning to love yourself is a super valuable skill. I'm going to revert back to talking about trying new things for a second, because trying new things helps you learn to love yourself. Learning to love yourself is a very important thing, and it, more so than trying new things, it goes a long way in your life. Learning to love yourself is one of the most important things you can do, because when you love yourself, it makes everything easier. When you come to terms with, this is who I am, I love these things about myself, and I'll just keep building upon that and improving myself as a person and learning to love myself more and gaining that confidence in yourself, which is so valuable, because getting that, I mean, it makes it easier for getting a job, keeping a job, social situations, of course, when you're meeting new people. If people can see that you're confident in yourself, then they like you more. They're like, hey, this guy likes himself. He's confident. He feels good. And it's just something that a lot of people, especially girls in today's society, they look at themselves and they're like, oh, I'm flat. I don't like the way my hair is done today. Blah blah blah. Don't make excuses for yourself. Just learn to love yourself for who you are. But then there's a certain point. You gotta love yourself, but you can't you can't be obsessed with yourself. You gotta be able to appreciate yourself and improve upon it without like going crazy. And I feel like this is a message out there for girls. They need to, a lot of them kind of overdo certain things, because they like wearing too much makeup or wearing a certain style of dress or whatever. And I feel like a lot of that is them covering up their insecurities, because they don't know how to accept themselves for who they are. I'm not generalizing all girls here. Just I've seen a lot of them do this. So just take it from someone who's pretty observant with other people. Uh, you gotta be able to love yourself, because hiding your insecurities, you just can't do it. People see right through that stuff. Unless you're Helen Keller, then I don't know what to tell you. But otherwise, I just it it frustrates me that a lot of people in today's society are too busy harping over, oh, I'm really bad at this, I'm really bad at that. And I'll admit, I've done that before. I still sometimes I do that. But it really comes down to your mindset. You got to have a growth mindset. Like, you got to be willing to take the steps to grow. And when you grow, you look at yourself and like, damn, I love myself. I love what I'm doing. I love my job. I love my family. I love my passions. You got to be able to do that. And oh my God, it's the best feeling when you finally come to terms with yourself. And I feel like I've learned to love myself. I'm not like 100% of the way there yet, but I've not that long ago I came to terms with myself. I'm like, yes, I love these things about myself. I love that I'm funny. I love that I'm snarky. Uh, I love making memes. It's a passion of mine. I love I love being a guy, if that qualifies for loving yourself. I I feel like I'm smart. I feel like I'm good and I have a lot to say, and it's a great feeling to be able to love yourself and identify the good parts about yourself. And a lot of people, like including myself, even sometimes I've always been like, well, how do you do that? But it's really like there's not like a specific altar you can just step upon and just get scanned by some massive love yourself thingy that can tell you that this is what you need to do. No, 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 no. You got to figure out how to love yourself. Doing your passions, learning new passions, going back, talking about trying new things, that's a big thing. Um, Meeting new people that uncover things about yourself. Well, maybe not uncover, that's not the right word, but like meeting new people that bring out the traits about yourself that you that other people don't. And meeting these different types of people can really help you open up to yourself, because it's like, well, I had this conversation with blank the other day, right? And damn, I mean, I never realized just how funny I was. Like, if you never realize that, but then you meet a certain person or people in your life that can bring that trait out in you, then that's super valuable. That's a big step. Um, Reading books definitely helps, because um, not maybe not reading books about how to love yourself, but reading books about things that you can relate to. Because I know there are books, a lot of books out there that have life experiences um, talked about in them. There's a lot of stuff they mention in there that can really help you out. Talking to people, getting to know yourself. You gotta be able to know yourself to love yourself. Uh, I feel like that can be done by hanging out with yourself. Spending time with yourself is one of the most valuable things you can do. If you can't stand to be with yourself, that's a problem. And you need to figure out, like, you got to figure out how to be able to have fun on your own. I'm talking to all you extroverts out there that party every night and don't really take the time to just take a second, step back, look at yourself, and really evaluate. You got to do that. Introspection is super valuable, and it's a big part in learning to love yourself. Setting goals is a big one, because if you set goals to improve yourself, doing something simple like eating healthy, exercising, um, maybe a goal to socialize with people more, whatever it may be, that is huge, because if you accomplish that goal, it really unlocks a new level inside of you that, like, it's something you just didn't even know was there before. And that having that growth mindset, being able to take on goals like that, and when you fail too, like you got to be able to have failures and look back at them and say, I'm going to treat this like a learning experience. You got to learn from your mistakes. It's one of those valuable things. I made so many mistakes socially, in my work life, in school, whatever. I've made so many mistakes, but learning from those mistakes, adapting, growing, that is so valuable. And if you can do that, then you're in a great place in life. And it's just such an important thing. Having the having the ability to fail and not beat yourself up over it. Step back, drink a glass of water, and say, "Hey, this may have sucked. I didn't do so well in this. I kind of, maybe lost a friend or two here, or maybe I got rejected by a girl." Like, if you have these situations, these failures in your life, and then you don't say, "Oh, I'm the worst. I suck. I'm never gonna make any new friends. I'm never gonna do well on this. I'm never gonna get far in life." No, do not do that. Beating yourself up for something little, and it's not good. It's not healthy. And I think one of the healthiest things you can do is to step back and say, "Hey, this this sucked. Just I but at least I learned that not to do this anymore and instead maybe do this. So like for example, when you fail a math test for whatever reason, let's just say you just get a really bad grade on it. It's like, oh, it's the worst. Oh my God. Instead of saying, oh, I'm such a failure, instead you can say, well, that sucked. I didn't do so hot on that. But hey, now I know for the future, maybe I should study a little more. Maybe I should prepare a little harder. You know, it's just one of those things. So I guarantee you've heard this from other podcasts, other TV shows, other people, but no one ever puts it into action. From what I know, it's one of those things that like having that growth mindset and learning to love yourself kind of tie in together because growing as a person means that your love for yourself can also grow right along with that. It's so important. And if you love yourself, it makes dating, meeting new friends, uh, being able to enjoy your job, um, going on adventures, trying new things, it makes it all so much easier. I swear. And once you can finally come to terms with who you are, and I'm not saying I've fully discovered myself yet, but even when you just discover certain things about yourself, that's progress. It's certainty. You know parts about yourself that you didn't know before, and it's just the best. So go out there, try new things, talk to people, socialize, learn from your mistakes, have that growth mindset, take every situation as a learning experience, and just learn to love yourself. It's as simple as that. Final bonus topic for today. I decided to include this kind of in the middle of the show, actually, because this was something that I really, really, really wanted to talk about. And it's one of those things that I feel like it's one of those things that really helps you out in a lot of different ways. Kind of similar to having that growth mindset and having that goal oriented view of life. This sort of falls into that sort of category. And it's being able to recognize the good parts in your day. That is something that I feel like I've gotten better at over time. Because I used to, when I had a bad day, right? Like, I let's just say I lost a friend today. Like, oh, we got into this big fight, and then I didn't do so hot on a school project or whatever, and it was the weather was bad, and everything just seemed to go wrong that day. I've had days like that before. It is the worst. But even if it doesn't seem like there's something good in that day, trust me, there is. You can say, wow, looking back at this day, it sucked, but at least I I learned something from it. I learned, let's just say, on the school project, I learned to put more effort into the project, maybe be a little more focused on the details. Or you could say, hey, maybe I lost a friend today in a fight, but maybe they weren't my kind of people. Maybe I should just find new friends. Maybe it it hurts, it sucks, but I shouldn't treat this as the end of the world because it isn't. Like that sort of thing. So even the worst days, you can recognize the good parts of it. And then average days, like for example, you could be like, "Oh, I just did this today. Nothing special, nothing crazy happened. It was an all right day." But then you can say, "Well, at least I ate something healthy today. Let's just say I had a banana for lunch, and maybe I got some work done." Like, even in an average day, there's always something good in it. Having that good day mentality, even like the worst days have something good in it. It's really good for your positive outlook on life. If your outlook on life, whatever it may be, it always becomes more positive and more hopeful when you have a good day. or if you can find the good in a bad situation, or the good parts of an average day. It's it's really really awesome, and I I, I've tried doing this for the last couple of months. Every day I always reflect right as I go to bed. Or it's actually, yeah, it's like, no, it's right when I eat dinner, actually, not right when I go to bed. I say, how was today? Was today good, bad, okay? And a lot of the times I find myself saying my day was okay, just kind of okay. And that's been the case for me for most months of this year so far. It's kind of crazy. We're already halfway through the year, and half of the days of this year pretty much have been mostly just kind of okay. But then I step back and I look at it. I'm like, well, at least I got some work done. At least I got to relax, or maybe I got some exercise. Maybe I talked to my friends. Maybe I took a nice shower. Whatever it may be. And even if it's the little things, they matter so much. And being able to recognize the little things in life, for the good little things, of course, and even the bad little things, being able to just identify them, reflect on them, and learn from it, it's it's incredible. You want to do that every day. So I challenge you, listeners, every day, um, when you go to bed or whenever you eat dinner, whenever your day is pretty much over, I want you to reflect. I want you to say out loud how your day was. I want you to say, how was my day today? Well, was it good? Was it bad? I don't know. You have to be able to identify how your day was. Maybe it was just okay. Maybe it was mediocre. Maybe it was really great. You got to recognize that. And then maybe just try and find at least one good thing, cuz every day at least one good thing happens. It might not even be for you. Maybe your friend got engaged or something. Maybe your day was utter shit, but hey, you could at least say, I'm happy for my friend. He got engaged. Like that sort of thing. Uh, just even things like that. They don't even have to directly affect you, but it's just if you can find the good things in every day, identify them, reflect on them, it's just so valuable. And I really, really, really highly encourage you to do it. And if you have fun with it, then tell other people. Because a lot of people harp on the bad things about their days, and it's not healthy. And I really highly encourage you to have a positive outlook on your day. Have that positive mindset. Being able to get to garner the best from a bad situation, or being able to garner really good things from a really good situation. Very good stuff. So I really hope you take this to the bank, share it with other people. Uh, these are just some of the many steps to becoming larger than life. And that concludes episode 1 of the Larger Than Life podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I really hope you enjoy your day. Be sure to share this video with anyone you feel like needs these life tips. I highly encourage it. Again, links to the Zach Schomler's channels, both Strong Opinion Sports and his Flawed Human Productions, down below. I take high inspiration from his podcasts. So if you're interested in that, it'll be there for you. I really hope you have a great day. And bam, I'm done for today. Thank you so much for listening.